Hi everyone and welcome along. So Easter is only a few weeks away and well, alongside Christmas, it's one of my favourite times to get painting and create cards and lots of simple designs. So today, it couldn't be simpler. We're doing some beautiful little Easter bunnies, some Easter chicks and a little goose. Honestly, if you really want to create cards for Easter or lovely little designs, this is going to be so perfect. And even if you've got kids around who want to have a go, maybe it's the Easter holidays coming up, then why don't you all settle down, grab your paints, and let's get started. I do love it when Easter comes around because it's so fun for simple, quick cards, just like at Christmas time, but I just love the springtime, possibly more. I used to think I preferred Easter to Christmas because it felt like Christmas but with good weather. So I'm just over here mixing up burnt sienna and raw sienna to make a nice sort of warm caramel brown for our very simple little Easter bunnies. We've got plenty of Easter tutorials already on the channel, so go and check those out if you haven't yet seen them. But for something a little bit new and something I thought we couldn't get any simpler, but it turns out we can. So let's see. If you want to paint an Easter bunny but you feel like you're just not sure where to start, well, I've got a size 2 brush here and I am painting a little brown behind with a little fluffy white tail just from what I've not painted, so the negative space. Then I'm going to just do some rather chubby cheeks, then just a little head there, and then of course some ears, and that could not be simpler. And you could do a little family of little bunnies. So if I do a little smaller circle, so you might even want excuse me, you could draw a little pencil circle for where your tail is going to go. It's funny, those little sort of fuzzy cheeks that we do there, I think just give it a gorgeous bit of character. So I think that's a really fun way to maybe get your kids involved in doing a little bit of watercolour painting for Easter. But the other thing we can do is some very simple little Easter chicks. So I've got some lemon yellow, and I am literally going to make a blob, and I'll do another one, little blob. It could not be simpler. And a blob, another one there. And these little blobs are going to become Easter chicks, but not before we just let it all dry for a moment. And then we're going to do one last little animal. I'm going to take a very little bit of Payne's grey and a bit of buff titanium, and I want to make a sort of warm grey, and I'm going to paint two little curves there, and then I'm going to extend up like that and then over the top. And we've made ourselves a little goose. Obviously it needs a beak, but for now, that's all you need to do. So it's very pale at the moment, but that's going to dry and crisp up really, really nicely. And so we've got our little friends, our little Easter friends, furry and feathered, and we're going to add some very, very simple little bits of detail to them just to give them a tiny bit more character. So that colour we used for the bunnies, I'm just going to take the same colour and I'm going to do a tiny glaze. Just down one side. And it just gives them that little bit more character. So we'll do that again. So it's just the same colour, but because the layer beneath has dried and watercolour dries 30% lighter than when it goes on. So you can get a really nice bit of extra little detail. For our tiny little chicks, they are just blobs at this point, and I'm telling you, we're going to keep this so simple. I'm going to take some permanent orange, and we'll have some facing us. So I'm just going to do a little triangle. I'm going to do a little triangle off to the side, and we'll have one looking up at the goose. Goose not quite dry yet, so we'll give that goose a beak in a minute. And we're going to take a little bit of ivory black. And we don't need a lot on the brush at all. It's very small, but it's very cute. And then we're just going to do, so like I said, these are just blobs of watercolour which you add just a little bit of detail to, and it makes a really charming little piece. Okay, so I am now just waiting for my goose to dry. I'm going to add in a few simple little spring flowers, and all I'm going to do is essentially place in like a stem between each little critter. I'm just going to wait for this one, and you could add anything you like really. We could do some simple little yellow flowers that might turn into a daffodil in a minute. Some kind of sort of daisy-like petal flower. Or you could try a different kind of green and maybe just have a nice little sort of sprig of some greenery. If I think about all the spring flowers I've been painting on our little social media flower tutorials, we have a crocus. Right, our goose is dried now, so I can do a beak and some feet. So another little triangle. And I thought it might be nice to have it sat down. See, sometimes the most fun can come from painting the simplest, silliest stuff. And then a tiny little dot for an eye. Ooh, that's a lot. Try not to get too much colour. There we go. And then to finish off, we need so you can see I've got a few bits of greenery. I did add a little tulip in as well, which is quite nice. And I think what I will do is I will add in one just there. Trying to think of another spring flower. I've been painting so many spring flowers. Something with a little bit of colour, maybe I'll just do a little purpley, something purple, because I'm always complaining to Ant that there are so many purple flowers at this time of year, and I get impatient for the other colours as well. I know, absolutely spoilt rotten by flowers I am. Okay. So if you are wanting to make a little bit of Easter art this year, then this is a great place to start, to just learn a few of these very cute little simple animals and flowers, and then you can run with it, make all sorts of cards and get really creative and get your kids involved, get the family involved. It could be a really fun little friends painting evening. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next time. Bye!